Are they ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Is that Andrea?
Uh-huh.
You wanna go ahead and do your thing, sweetheart?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I wonder what happened. My name didn't change on the screen. Okay, weird. But hi, everybody. We're going to practice language justice today. We're going to have simultaneous interpretation in English and in Spanish. If you're on Zoom, please make sure that you select your language. And if you're watching these later, the recording will be on YouTube for the city of Sheridan. Hola a todos, vamos a tener interpretación en inglés y en español practicando la justicia del lenguaje. Y si estás viendo esto en este momento, la grabación en español va a ser puesta en el canal de YouTube de la ciudad de Sheridan más adelante. And host, we can start interpretation now.
Thank you. We will call the June 8th, 2026 work session meeting of City Council. At 18:07, which is 6 o'clock. Items to be discussed and shared in housing. I will recess. So we go to recess now. The work session called to order. June 8th, 2026 Sheridan Housing Authority meeting at 18:07. And 6:07. Council members are present. Nope, maybe not. Minutes. For April 13th, 2026. Does anyone have any questions? I'll take a motion to report. So there. Motion has been made by Councilmember Whitaker and second by, is that you, Michael? Councilmember Moreno. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? No. Now we are next.
Thank you. So we had a solid financial end to March and April in our voucher program. We ended March with a cash balance of $156,875 as of March 31st and $178,32 at the end of April. We also had a healthy monthly net income in the voucher program in March of $20,525 and a total year-to-date net income profit of almost $20,000 at the end of March, and April ended with a positive net income of $5,500, bringing us to $25,332 year-to-date at the end of April. This is good news because it means we're receiving more money from HUD than we're spending in the HCD program. Previously this year, we've been running in negative numbers because HUD was being ultra conservative with the HCD financing, and now we're in the green again, covering our direct landlord housing assistance payments and administrative. Our total year-to-date administrative costs required to operate the Sheridan Housing Authority.
Or probably good. Let's move that down this end. Because that's
Yeah,
what Simon's taking saying there. 1 second, Andrea, we had a fan by the TV and that's probably was messing up your sound. Well, let us know if we moved the fan, so hopefully you won't get that anymore.
Should I just start over in those numbers?
Okay.
No.
Is that better? Can you hear me?
Is that any better?
Seriously? So our voucher program had a solid financial footing at the end of March at $156,875 cash balance, and the end of April at $178,032. So slight increase in April, and we had a healthy monthly net income of 20,525 in the voucher program for March, pushing our total year-to-date income profit to almost $20,000, and then we ended April with a positive net income of 5,500, bringing us to about 25,000 in net profit year-to-date in the voucher program. This is good news because it means that we are receiving more money from HUD than we're spending in the HCB program. The difference, we received a bunch in March and not as much in April, and it balances out. And this number is always balancing, so that $5,500 is a little misleading too because it's allocated already. But it is good news because it means that we're getting that income for the HCB program. Previously, HUD has been super conservative with their HCB financing, and we're finally able to cover our direct landlord housing assistance payments and administrative overtime. Our total year-to-date administrative costs required to operate the Sheridan Housing Authority from Inglewood increased slightly from March to April by about $1,000, with a year-to-date cost of $47,488 in the end of April. Our voucher program efficiency, we continue to closely monitor the HUD 2-year tool to track our projected housing assistance payments against our leasing parameters. We received our official federal funding from HUD through October of 2026, and we continued to project zero shortfalls both for Sheridan and Inglewood programs for the rest of the calendar year. They do not want us to overspend. Typically, when we overspend, we get a higher budget next year. They are very, very aware of everything we're spending right now to make sure we don't go over our 2026 budget. We having received our official federal program funding allocations through October 26, I already read that, sorry. Because we're staying carefully balanced with our approved budget thresholds, we're not currently pulling any new applicants from the lottery pools, even though the housing choice voucher program waiting list is technically still open. We don't have any new vouchers to end. And then we're currently administering repayment agreements. I think I skipped ahead. That was I'm on the voucher program. Okay. So the voucher program is in a balance, positive balance. The other one is the general fund, and the general fund, the only action in the general fund is interest accrual. There's no real income there, so those are still in the positive and only a slight change between March and April of about $100 in interest. Do you have any questions on
the general fund is right around $30,000?
it's at 191 or leave? Maybe
No.
that's the
Maybe I missed the one.
No, you're right, 93.
98. Is that enough to operate on if funding was gone?
That's not really HUD related. That's your assets from that's like income that you have. Those are your intercompany assets. This is a little deceiving. So the $29,000 for the operating cash is actually part of an FSS program. So that's escrowed to residents right now. Like it's allocated if once we pay that out. And then, but there's not really, you don't have any income, so that's just kind of a cash balance. The HCB program is your vouchers, and that's HUD funding. So if they cut funding, it's going to come from the voucher program, not from your general fund. And so that money should be stable.
Said that was secured, how much is that? The funding,
For the FSS program,
yeah,
that
just like big number for the year or what?
29.5 right now for the FSS operating cash. And that is basically like when somebody goes into the FSS program, anytime their rent increases, they get that amount as an escrow account into an escrow account, and when they graduate from the program, they get that payout. They have to hit all the milestones and graduate to get that money, but it's essentially in your general fund, but being held for residents.
Very cool.
It's a great program. There's a federal push right now to make that an opt-out program instead of an opt-in, which I think would be a game changer, but it would cost a lot administratively. So there's a trade-off. But I do think it'd be really good for residents for sure.
So we've had 20 unused vouchers, I might have asked you this last time, but are those the holdouts that have moved out or?
So the 20 unused, those are outgoing portables. We have 21, 181 vouchers and 160 issues and 19 unused. Or is it 21? I can't do math in my head, I'm sorry, 21 unused. Those, we don't have the funding to issue those. So like we are, because of the cost of rent and how much HUD allocates per voucher, we cannot afford to rent out 21 of those vouchers. So they give us the vouchers, but then rent increases and they don't increase the amount that they cover for the subsidy.
Need more funding?
HUD need, yes.
Or we need people to the rooms. So that people can use them.
Typically, yeah, and then what happens is HUD adjusts the subsidy down, yeah, so they. We've never been at 100% that I've ever known of in my 4 years in working with this, so. Any questions on the financials? All of these things.
Yeah. I'll call for a motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? There you go. Next we have program report.
So that's the vouchers, I kind of jumped ahead and I'm sorry about that, but we have a total of 181 vouchers for the Sheridan Housing Authority, no real change besides the one poured out last in March versus April, so we have 140 vouchers issued at the end of April. And 20 being administered by other housing authorities, which means they're living in a different jurisdiction, but we're paying to manage that voucher still, and we're paying the subsidy. And then we have 15% of those are leased up in unincorporated Arapahoe County with a 30% maximum allowable. I just spoke with somebody at Arapahoe County and we're gonna potentially look at overturning this 30% maximum allowable. It was created back in 2006 to allow Arapahoe County to grow their housing authority. And my colleague at Arapahoe County said that there's no housing authority. Like, they have one in structure, but they don't have vouchers, they don't plan to get vouchers, so there shouldn't be a limit on how many we can rent out in Arapahoe County and how many we can issue. So we're gonna work on that next, and hopefully. We have never come close to the limit. I think in Inglewood, we're only at like 9% of our 30% maximum allowable. We don't have more vouchers to give, but having that unrestricted access to the county would be nice for residents. The contract rent did go up slightly in Sheridan, and it's actually higher than in Inglewood at 1968. Tenants pay about 30% of their income. So $561 is the average tenant rent, and then the voucher covers about $1,400 of that. We are 88% of our vouchers issued out of the 181. And our budget is about 107% year to date as of April, but that is a number that gets adjusted every month as well. So we use the 2-year tool to look at a bigger number to adjust that percentage, and we don't expect to be over 100% at the end of it. And then we have a waiting list of 652 people that we cannot pull from. So that just tells you the need versus the actual. Question.
With that need, why would we, send our vouchers out to other cities?
They're housing choice vouchers, so they go with the person. So it's basically they can choose to live wherever they want. They get the voucher in Sheridan, they're required to live here for a year. And then after that, they can port out if they want to. And the housing authority there has to be able to port them in and have housing for them. And it just depends on where the housing is being built and where the available housing is and where they want to live.
You report some in.
Yeah, I mean, one, right? So
It's not a lot.
Yeah.
But we will have the same.
Yeah, and right now we're not accepting any port-ins in Inglewood or Sheridan because of our budget. We're just trying to be really conscious and stuff like that.
If someone ports in, aren't they on the budget of the place that they ported out from?
Yes, and no, like we have to, it is, they manage the cost of that budget, we have to still pay administratively to do the background, what do you call it, the expense check, the income checks, that's what we're looking for, and so it does cost us administratively, it does affect our budget slightly, and so we're just being a aware of that. We don't have a lot of voucher housing available in Englewood, I'm sure, and really you guys have Klondike Flats, we have Charles that we have, but they're fully leased up right now, and then we have senior properties. And I believe those are at maximum. Don't have a lot of space. Yeah. That's it, programs.
To call for a motion to, accept the program.
Move to approve the program report.
In a second, please.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next is the limited.
And I really think that since we only do the one approval of minutes and then the whole thing at ours, so that's why. We, intercompany things, I'm still serving as the interim. I promoted Jennifer as deputy director. And we are continuing to run. I have stepped back a little bit, so Jennifer's really stepped into this deputy role. We did make an offer to a candidate after a round of board interviews. But she accepted and then she declined. So we turned down the other two applicants, and then now they started over the board. We have 2 more interviews set up for the end of June, and very strong candidates. I think this will be a good round. And hopefully we'll have that position filled by July. And I'll have somebody to introduce you at the next meeting. We have received notice of our HCP funding allocations for October. I mentioned that we continue to project no shortfall for the program, and the 2-year tool to make sure that we are making the correct leasing decisions. And then we're not pulling any new applicants. We currently have 7 program participants on our repayment agreement with Innovative Housing Concepts for under-reporting their income. And the total amount owed to the Housing Authority is $61.88. That did drop a little bit from last month. From $69.46. So somebody repaid about $700. And then we wrapped up our next step gen program completely by the end of March, and all final administrative tracking and transitions have been completed. That's about it. Things going on. Yeah. Administrative.
I'll call for a motion to approve the manager's report.
Move to approve the manager's report.
Second.
Well, the motion has been made by Councilmember Moreno and seconded by Councilmember Dickson. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Yeah, unfinished business, none. New business, none. Anything else you have? Any questions? Good luck with finance on. I didn't kind of about it.
It was, but I think the second round has been really exciting, so I'm glad that it happened, I guess. So there was
a workshop that very on purpose.
yeah, there was somebody I was hoping would fly the first round and he didn't, and now he did.
Oh, good. Cool. Okay, with that, this is my next meeting. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you. Thank you so much. See you, please.
Next, we have the youth presentation.
Jenna just went to grab them, they're.
Is that where they were? Okay, I was wondering where they.
I told him at 6 to come down.
Okay. How many did they have, do you know?
4. You want me to grab that?
Here, yeah, grab that.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Who was that? Busy typing out. Too. I don't know, they waited till it got hot to make on the water bags. I know, yours look great. Do you see the one on Dale? Right, so a little condo thing by the very nice. You guys ago, I need to talk to them. So really, what did you do? That's awesome. Yeah, just down there. Yeah, yours look great.
I'll move.
You're also,
Thank you.
Yeah.
them and you,
I'll move.
you're the all-star.
Yeah, I can move though. Somebody can start to people.
You telling him now his head's gonna give me.
Sorry.
Me too, they're getting dry, quick on.
You want on this side?
Move around.
Probably like up with the front.
Yeah, of course.
Or, I mean, wherever people usually present.
That's fine, you can go.
Do that, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And we'll get
Really
some.
nice.
Nice.
Everything looks-
Go back where? Go back where?
Oh, no, Prince of Dublin. Thank you for asking, I appreciate it.
Why don't we, Jenna, where are you? You're
I'm
moving
there.
over to
Yep.
there, you guys can take this chair.
Yep.
You can scooch that out there, and we can do this one, and you guys can have mine, just a second. Or this rolls out real easy, so, yeah, just scooch that one over there for you guys. There you go, and wherever. Are we good? You got it, you guys are good? Okay.
Okay,
There we
do you
go.
wanna just switch it here? I'm gonna take the roll.
Here then. Okay.
Alright, I think we got all your slides updated, Reagan's gonna be your ones, I'll help you out with slides.
Yes, you got the Miranda slides as well?
Yes, I forwarded
Okay.
all to Reagan, so he's gonna hopefully make sure we got all the right ones up for you guys.
Okay, sweet.
So I don't know which one you want to start with, but.
Yeah, we'll start with the main one. It's the other one, the blue one.
Got it. Yeah, first, perfect.
Yeah. Okay, and I am ready whenever.
Yeah, just look at me, I'll just.
Okay. Sweet. So hi everyone. Today I have a presentation about the Sheridan Rising Youth Council. So who we are and how y'all can support us. I'm sure many of y'all are familiar with Nellie back there. But I'm a pretty new face. So before we get into it, I'd like to introduce myself. So this is me. So my name is Victoria Lopez Acuna. I am the youth program organizer for the council. I'm originally from San Antonio, Texas, but I moved to Colorado in 2017 to attend CU Boulder. So it's gonna be 10 years next year. Kind of a little wild. But while at CU Boulder, I got my bachelor's in ethnic studies with a minor in leadership studies. I also got my master's in education foundations, policy and practice. And for my PhD, we're not there just yet. Give me also maybe 10 years. But yeah, my education, professional experience, and my personal background make me very dedicated to issues that young people care about, and their representation in leadership. I have worked within the realms of policy, so testifying at the state capitol or meeting with leaders to expand Medicaid access in the state. I do organizing, especially around getting young people to vote in elections. And I have a personal passion, like fundraising project around abortion access in my home state. So as a young person myself, I turn 28 next month. If anybody's a July birthday, hey. As a young adult myself, I focus my community work on what many young people like myself care about, which is, for example, reproductive justice, workers' rights, housing, harm reduction, and more. By working with other folks in my age group, I've come to realize that our voice is often left out, if not completely ignored in many spaces. That's why I am committed to uplifting and empowering the youth here in Sheridan so that they can create and lead their own projects that improve their lives by working together. Yeah. So I believe most of y'all are familiar with Sheridan Rising Together for Equity. And if not, I can definitely get you more info after that. But just a little quick overview. We were founded in 2017 to help realize a future that envisions everything from strong schools to representative government, economic justice and resources, affordable housing, green transportation, farms and fresh food, recreation and culture, healthcare, and all the other little things that ensure Sheridan residents can live their lives with dignity. Next. Now, all of that absolutely includes Sheridan's young people. The youth of Sheridan are diverse, they're unique, they're creative, and more. And that's why Sheridan Rising is really proud to have a department dedicated just to them. So the Youth Council, it began at the end of 2020. It was coming up on the start of the second year of the pandemic, and young people were definitely struggling, especially in schools. And the youth council sought to address those issues of loneliness, those feelings of isolation, by involving young people in decision-making processes and by providing programming designed to build resiliency. We are committed to empowering and discovering all opportunities for all Sheridan youth. This means doing things like what I'm doing now, by building partnerships with other youth advocacy organizations such as New Era Colorado, getting funding to do fun activities like art workshops and as youth suggest and design the program over the year, we also do have a curriculum where we focus on building leadership and advocacy skills, professional and personal development, and college and career prep. In the past, the program ran from January to December, but we're doing something new this year where we're changing that to be August through May, so the typical school year program, and there's not a 2-year like summer break, you know. And so with that, there's going to be some new changes such as job shadowing and mentorship opportunities. We're also recruiting all middle schoolers and some other fun changes. So what makes the youth council successful is the young people who participate in it. They are the heart and soul of the council, truly. And so like with anything, it's important that we have the numbers, right? So how do we ensure involvement, and how do we make sure that involvement also benefits them, but the community as well? One, we pay them. There's a lot of other things young people could be doing with their time, like getting a job, doing extracurriculars and sports, or just hanging out with their families, right? When I was younger, I was super busy with extracurriculars, and in my free time, I just wanted to rest and be home because a lot was going on. But I also cared about my community, so I wish I had something like this. So yeah, we get that for youth, there's so many things happening, like their lives and whatnot, and so we ensure that they can benefit from this programming by providing a financial incentive. This helps encourage consistent participation, as we do have attendance requirements for meetings. It ensures that the other workshops and activities we do are well attended, and that the youth have good communication with us when it comes to any conflicts. And in general, it encourages financial literacy as well as an investment into the local community and economy. We also set aside time and resources for recruitment. In recent years, the council was at its peak with almost 20 youth, which is pretty wild. But things like jobs, moving, or graduation, especially this year, we had about like 5, if not 6 seniors. That's a lot. That has affected those numbers, as well as the recent strike. We weren't able to, at the end of the school year, be inside schools. However, we have done things to help with that, such as building, like I said, our organization partners, our partners with organizations such as New Era Colorado or the Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Colorado. That, like I said, the inclusion of middle schoolers will help. And one thing that really helps us, we already have very strong retention. Many of our students stay involved until high school graduation, some even after, and you'll hear a little bit about that. So with that background, here is some of our past projects. We've done outdoor experiences such as e-bike tours and on the area's trails, as well as archery in the mountains, thanks to our partnership with another organization here in Sheridan, Sheridan Inspire. Last year, the youth did financial literacy training that helped prepare them for things such as applying to apartments or understanding student loans, which I went to college and I have a master's. I don't even understand those. So our youth, they have also worked on social awareness for their peers around things such as taking a training to advocate against minors vaping in their communities. They have also taken classes and trainings to provide support to their peers when it comes to mental health, something that we know young people especially struggle with, especially since the pandemic. There are also past art classes that we've done and workshops, and a youth community needs assessment to understand and identify issues in the community, particularly for Sheridan's young people. Now, there are many programs throughout the Denver metro area and the state that do things like this, which is great. The more opportunities for young people, the better, because when youth are invested in, when they're cared for, when they're given the tools to advocate for themselves and their peers, magic really truly happens. This work, as I'm sure we all can agree, is so extremely vital because at the end of the day, children are the most marginalized population. The pandemic was one thing, of course, and the reason why we started this council, but children are also disproportionately affected by inequities and harms in schools, in the workplace, even in the home. They're growing up in a particularly disadvantaged economy where housing is getting more expensive, colleges are also getting more expensive, the job market is getting so competitive, and on and on. And for us older folks, it's our duty to protect and support children. But oftentimes adults, including young adults like myself, often believe that we know what's best for youth. We'll take positions and run initiatives that are youth focused, but are oftentimes missing that youth voice. So what makes it special is that with the guidance and mentorship of leaders and educators in the community, we empower Sheridan youth to lead their own projects, to curate their own workshops, and to design their own experiences. We teach them how to be good examples of civic engagement, so how to issue caucus, aka how to convince their peers to care about what they care about, how to research their issues, how to design a project to address that issue, and how to implement a project around that issue. This type of work teaches young people how to be leaders. It instills confidence in them and encourages them to commit to community values such as diversity, empathy, inclusion, collaboration, and more. This type of work leads to improved outcomes for our youth. Many of our kiddos go to colleges outside of Denver even. They get jobs that pay them well. They intern with us and other organizations, and overall they have happy, healthier, more quality social lives. But I can only say so much as the organizer of this program. Like I've said over and over again, including youth in all processes is important. So I'm happy to bring on two amazing youth to share their knowledges and experience with y'all today. First, we're going to start with Stephanie, who's going to share a little testimony for y'all, and then we'll have a little presentation from Miranda. So if you want to go ahead.
Well, hi, good afternoon, everybody. As Victoria mentioned, my name is Stephanie Baca, and today I'm here on behalf of Sheridan Rising from the Youth Council. I am currently a college student as well as a participant of this organization, which I've been participating for almost 7 years now. Sheridan Rising has had an impact on my life throughout middle school and high school. This program has provided me with resources and workshops. Over the years, I have the opportunity to see this program grow and reach more students in our community. What started with just 5 students has grown to serve approximately 20 more students to today. The growth demonstrates both the need for this program and the positive impact it continues to have on young people. Throughout Sheridan Rising and Youth Council, I participated in programs focused on mental health awareness, CPR certification, financial literacy, leadership development, and public speaking. The public speaking classes helped me become more confident when speaking in front of others, and honestly, that's why I'm speaking here today. Another experience that brings me great satisfaction as a member of this organization is the opportunity to be actively involved in our community. I am proud to participate and offer my support whenever it's needed, making a positive contribution to the well-being of those around us. Being a volunteer and helping with various community activities has been deeply meaningful experience for me, and it has allowed me to strengthen connection among my community. So today I stand before you as an example of what this program can accomplish. So I ask that you continue funding Sheridan Rising so other youth people can benefit from more opportunities that Sheridan has to provide. Thank you.
Thanks, Stephanie. And then we're just going to transition to Miranda's slides. It should be that other one. Oh, yes. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Miranda, and
No.
okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Miranda, and a quick question that I've heard a lot from the community around me, which is Sheridan, is what is the future for the youth of Sheridan? It's a really big question because a lot has happened in the past few years. So what is happening to the youth in Sheridan? The youth is losing touch with their peers and their educators, which is a big cause for them not being involved in the community because they are a big part of the community. They also, if they're not attached to their teachers, they're less likely to listen to people about their studies. If they don't like someone who's teaching it, they're not really gonna listen to the topics they're talking about, which could affect them in the long term because studying is a big thing. It's how many people form their life and where many people start off. And another thing that is happening to the youth is isolation. If they're not connecting with the community around them, they're not really gonna associate with many and they're not gonna know what's around them. So, what are the causes for these things? So, the causes are lack of spaces for youth. Yes, there is a library and a rec center, but if we're being honest, not many are interested in going to read a book, especially not in public. It's kind of seems performative, so. Teachers are also leaving. A reason why this is important is because teachers, as I said before, if they're not connected to the people that they see every day that are teaching them valuable stuff, they are probably not gonna be very involved in the stuff we see around us because how we see things is how it is taught to us. If I see, let's say, a clock, I'm not really gonna value it if I don't know what it can lead me to. I know that a clock can tell me the time, and I learned that from school, so it will probably take me somewhere. The average, so the teachers are leaving because of many things, a lot from disrespect from students. I would say it's due to a lack of understanding of why teachers are important, because if we're being honest, a lot of people take teachers for granted, and that's not how it should be. But the average Sheridan teacher salary is about 71,000, and around us, other counties have teachers that pay more, which is also leading them to leave this area. And that affects the students because the students need good teachers to learn things because not everyone can be a teacher. It's not easy to go in front of everyone, to go in front of students in a class that is not being respectful or that you don't feel valued. So it is very easy to just leave a county for another one just because of pay. And another reason for students not being so involved in the community is also there is not a huge variety of activities that students can do. There's not many clubs in school. There's not many activities other than soccer and cheerleading. I remember when I was a freshman in Sheridan, I didn't really feel connected to any of those activities. I wanted more for me because I just didn't see myself throwing around pom-poms. And I know that's something that a lot of people can connect with because no one's the same. Everyone has different tastes, everyone likes different things, so we're not all just gonna join two clubs because the school offers it. Now, what can we do to bring back the youth? An idea I came up with Victoria over here is that we could create volunteer opportunities for people in the high school that are planning to build a resume by bringing them in to help for summer school during some periods to help the teachers out so it can alleviate the work for the teachers, and it can also show the students, the younger students, like they can be role models. They can show, hey, I'm gonna do this in the long term, and they might be inspired because I know I aspired to be like one of the students one of my teachers brought in 7th grade to talk to us. She is someone that I look forward to meeting someday again because she's building a career for herself And yeah, it's very easy for children to acquire behaviors that they see on people they think, oh my gosh, this person has something that I find so interesting. So it is very easy for children to follow someone else's footsteps if they like the person. Obviously, not everyone's gonna like the teacher, but they can also find inspiration in other people around them. And this brings me back to Sheridan Rising. Could we go back to the slide, please? Yep, go back to ours.
There you go. And then just one slide down.
Yes, okay. So how can the city council support us? Is advertising for the youth to join the program in order for them to get more opportunities, because right now many of the youth is not connected to the community. And if they join Sheridan Rising, they can see other opportunities that we can offer. I know I've learned many things, and I have seen many things that I wouldn't have otherwise unless I had joined Sheridan Rising. I saw outside in how my future can look once I joined Sheridan Rising, because they have shown me a lot that I didn't know before. And I think that can be a lot of young students path as well. And financial aid to host community events that will bring more people in, because we know that people are more prone to places where there are a bunch of people. Like, it's like the same effect that money has. If someone has money, more money is attracted money. It's a loophole. So yeah, thank you so much.
So, as y'all heard, the youth council has not only left an impact on these girls, but it's also empowered them to brainstorm their own projects and visions for a better future for young people in Sheridan. And we'd love to share these benefits with other young people in the area, of course. For one, our mental health training. So bringing youth to work together, outdoors programming, and more. All of this supports the overall mental and physical health of youth by immersing them in community. Providing practical support like the stipend or employment opportunities also helps relieve stress and gets kids out of the house. And on that note of professional development, youth can reference this experience in college and scholarship applications. They can get volunteer hours for NHS and other programs, get connected to a mentor, etc. Some go on to work for us, like Stephanie. And finally, the youth are the future, and we strongly support their desires to be community advocates. Many have attended school board and city meetings. They've spoken up for their needs/wants, such as speaking at the Board of Education meetings and being present at strike actions, and just being invested in a thriving Sheridan overall. Now, there's multiple ways we get the funding to be able to run this program, so that the youth can try things out and implement projects. We apply for grants, including those specifically for youth programming. We participate in events that offer funding. We also get donations, like during Giving Tuesday, for example. Sheridan staff have also been collecting data and interviews from our community members, including youth, so that more people are aware of who we are and what we do. And our youth, of course, are also interested in doing fundraising events for the program. So how can y'all, our lovely elected officials, support the youth council? You got an idea of that from our young people, but to sum it up, we are asking for practical and funding support. So yes, inclusion in the budget, support with grants, connection with donors, etc. That'll be helpful. But also, many of y'all are business owners and leaders in this community yourselves. Plus, y'all have many business connections. We love support with job shadowing, with finding mentors, which could include y'all. And so yeah, to wrap our ask up, I'd also like to remind y'all that even if those fun, wild, free days may be far behind for some of us, you can still be youth agenda champions. Even if part of the youth population can't vote, their lives are still greatly affected by the decisions you make in this building. So for all Sheridan youth, not just those in our program, please be advocates for them through your council work and your duties. And when it comes to policy, align yourselves with the need of young people in this community. How will housing policy vote affect them, for example? Basically, how can you ensure that the youth who will eventually grow up and contribute even more to Sheridan are able to do that? So, to close it out, I'm really excited to see what can be done with the partnership between our youth council and the city council. Sheridan may be small, may be disadvantaged in ways that other nearby areas like Cherry Creek aren't, but it is such a close, tight-knit community with so much power. I was just at the Sheridan kickoff this Saturday, loved your Tai Chi presentation. So yeah, there's a lot we can do and a really strong community that's willing to help and support these young people, and I hope that y'all can be a part of that. So we've set aside some time for questions, either for myself, for the youth, but thank you all for listening. If you have any questions, I have contact information here. And yeah, I'd love to open up the discussion to any questions.
I know I definitely have
First
questions.
introduce yourself.
Councilman Carr, and I love everything, the presentation, Judge, I get it. I recognize this Nancy's daughter. I'm like, there was so much like your mother. All right, so the thing is, I just was talking to Devin about the youth in the city, and very much behind what we wanted to be one of the representatives to represent you guys, to work along with you closely. I've been talking to Mike, to Alex recently.
Yes.
And that's how I got to do it.
Right behind you.
That's my dancing, you missed the dancing, okay?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
anyway, but I very much like what you're saying and believe in everything you said. We need to support you guys.
Yes, thank you.
So you
Yeah.
got my vote.
Yay!
Thanks.
And I agree, having like a liaison that we work with directly in the city council really helps, because there's so many of y'all, but and we don't want to get it all like mismatched and everywhere, but to have a point of contact to advocate for us through here, I think that would be amazing. So yeah, any other questions?
Go ahead.
If I may, Mayor?
Yes.
So I have.
You have to introduce yourself.
I am Devin Grangebury, I'm the city manager. And thank you very much for the presentation, excellent job by all of you. And what I do very much appreciate is that you came forward and said, this is what we do, this is how we do it, this is why it's important, and here's our ask of you. Okay, so you guys did very good with doing all of that. My give back to you on those, so I got two pieces that you had on your ask. One was help spread the word, help get some of that, you know, what you're doing, and maybe put that out on our socials, put that out in our newsletter, do those kind of things like that. We're happy to do those kind of things. What I'd ask is that you guys put the materials together and get it to us, so that we know what that message is. And that this is Wendy, she will help you with all those kind of things and getting that information out. Second, on your ask for funding, very good. But I don't want you to just say, we want money. I want a proposal from you that says, we propose to do X with Y amount of money. So we want to put this kind of program together. I think you had mentioned, what was it? It was
It's like a volunteer kind of summer program or hosting community events.
right. So a brief write-up. What is the program? How does it benefit the city? How does it benefit the kids in the city? All those kind of things like that. We propose X amount of dollars and it will provide this level of service, whatever it is. So we're requesting $1,000 to do this, that. That's something I can put in the budget. I can take to the council and they can look at that and go, yes, we can do that. Or no, we need more information, or what, you know, but they need those kind of specifics to consider that. You guys are a great organization. It's fantastic. But let's see that proposal come together. You guys have done a very good first step in all of this. Now follow up with those and then we can see some support from the council and the city.
We can work on proposals during our meetings for sure. That's definitely a skill they would love to learn.
And I'm happy to help. If you guys have questions about any of those things like that, let me know. I'm happy to help, all right?
So I'm Sally Daigle, I'm the mayor. And my question was going to be to you, actually. Could we get Wendy, who's our marketing guru,
Social media.
social media aficionado, if she could meet with you to create the marketing plan that you want to be.
Yes. I think that would be.
Then, you know, then that's a piece that, you know, they could come in and they could work with her and see how things work and what have you. I think that would be really beneficial. Especially to someone that may be interested in social media and marketing and those kinds of things.
Absolutely.
And then, the other ask that I have would be, when we sit down to do our strategic planning, could we have a student or two attend and be a part of it? So that when we're doing our strategic planning, we literally, as well as figuratively,
Yeah,
include them in the plan
yes.
and things that would be important.
Mhm.
Would that be something that you would like to do?
Absolutely.
Any of those other kinds of things?
Yeah, we've had students in the past, one like just graduated, which I'm like, no, I just met you, but yes, go to college. But one of his passion projects was kind of establishing like a student liaison within the city council. So yes, they like, are still here to learn, get some mentorship, but also exactly that, be involved in the process, be a voice in the process, and it benefits everybody. So that would be great, and we can, like I said, we start our main programming in August, gonna have some new students, gonna be having an orientation for them to understand kind of this budding relationship, right, with city council. So we'll definitely have some students, even if y'all are interested in the future, attending those meetings and those decision processes.
And then my next question to y'all, are you gonna go to the school board meeting and present to them?
Ooh, do you want to? Do
I am,
Yeah,
I will invite you
we'd love
as
to.
the vice president of the school board, and you're welcome to come. I'd love to hear from you.
Yes, we'll do that. We'll talk about that and plan in the future. That would be so great,
That
because
would be
there's so many stakeholders in this, right? It's y'all, it's the parents, it's the teachers, and it's absolutely the school board. So yeah.
Then can I ask one comment?
You have to introduce yourself.
I'm Betsy Stewart, I'm the city attorney, and I grew up in West Virginia, and I was so disappointed there wasn't a debate team or a lot of opportunity for me to really have public speaking skills unless it was in school.
Yeah.
So the fact that you two in particular are doing this at a young age, that's so intimidating to come in front of a group of adults, be in a room where everybody's staring at you. So you both did a really great job, and I wish that opportunity had been available to me. So it's just so cool to see people, and especially young women.
Yeah.
All that. It's great. So I thought you all did a lovely job presenting, and I followed everything you said. And you never know where public speaking can take you. So it's really cool.
Yeah, we're very proud of that.
Can we just go around this way, and you guys each introduce yourself, please?
Yes.
Starting with Jay.
Jay Whitaker, city council member in Ward 2.
Desiree Stain, City Council Ward 1.
Anthony Lopez, Ward 1.
Cody Camacho, Ward 3.
Michael Moreno, Mayor Pro Tem. I know you did it right.
And Christoph Glenn, city council.
And then if you guys start over there, and then we'll come this way.
Yeah, I'm Wendy Brockman. I'm the communications manager for the city and the police department. And so I'm in charge of marketing the city, promoting the city, and all the social media sites and the newsletter.
Okay.
Edward Ledger, I'm the administrative commander, oversee elect investigations. My name's Reagan Crisfield, I'm the deputy city clerk.
Artie Snow, I'm a planner for the city, land use regulation.
Jenna DeRuba, I'm city clerk.
Joe Conley, I'm the police commander for operations.
You know those guys.
Yeah, and so like I said, I'm Victoria, and this is Miranda and Stephanie. We're very happy to meet all of y'all, and hopefully continue bringing in more youth that y'all get to know. But I know y'all have your big citywide city council meeting. So yeah, any other further questions, you can contact me. We all have the slides, so you can get that information from her. But yeah, thank you all so much for being here, for first of all giving attention to our students. There's been times where I've been in city council meetings or state council hearing rooms where the people are just like on their phones, not paying attention to what people have to hear, and that's really discouraging for youth. So I really want to appreciate, the attitude and the willingness to listen to our young people today. That's very important.
Is it okay if we share the slides with council?
Absolutely,
Okay,
yeah.
We'll send it out to you all, so you
Can
have
we,
the slides.
so we can picture?
Yeah.
Real quick, Mary.
Because we do have a meeting to get to, but they can't start without us.
Yeah.
But that's my question really quick. Okay, so we have a number of items on our agenda tonight. Did anybody have any questions you absolutely want to ask here now before we get up there about any of those items? Okay, so then we can cover it up there. Okay, good, thank you.
It was more, suing on this one here.
On the.
Yeah, let's get a little photo.
Yeah, right.
Just for Madam Mayor, we adjourn.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff.
We are adjourned.
We are.
There she is. Okay. First, I'd like to ask Andrea, our interpreter, to give an introduction.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Andrea with the Community Language Cooperative. We're going to be practicing language justice and we're going to provide interpretation in English and in Spanish. This meeting is being streamed on YouTube in English at this moment. And if you need to listen to it in Spanish, the recording will be available at a later time in the City of Sheridan's YouTube page. Hola a todos, soy Andrea, estoy con la Community Language Cooperative. Vamos a practicar la justicia del lenguaje y tendremos interpretación simultánea en inglés y en español. Esta reunión está siendo publicada en este momento en YouTube, pero si tú la quieres ver en español más adelante, va a estar más adelante en algunos días en la página de YouTube de la ciudad de Sheridan. Gracias. And host, we can start interpretation now.
Thank you. Good evening. I will call the June 8th regular meeting of the City Council to order at 19:14, or for you civilians, 7:14 p.m. All council members are present, and we will start with the invocation. If you'll stand and join me with the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Lord of the universe, tonight help us remember how fortunate we are to be able to serve our constituency. Let us remember that we are free, enabling us to work together on projects, that we are generous, enables us to work together to achieve amazing successes, and that we are dedicated, bringing us together so that we may continue these efforts. Guide us in our service, keep us well so we can serve, and bless those peoples of our community who are touched by our works so that they too can have the joy of a fulfilling life, full of good health and companionship in surroundings that are beneficial to all. Amen.
Amen. So nice.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the
United States of America
and
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, we have our staff reports. City Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just first want to say thank you so much for continuing to support our education and sending us off to conferences. Reagan and I had a good time, learned lots. Lots of stuff on AI this year. But I'm gonna let Reagan tell you a little bit about some of his sessions that he attended, and then I will follow up with some other stuff.
Yeah, just had a few good sessions on AI, had a good session on human trafficking, which was very interesting, very eye-opening. Had a lot of good classes on leadership and conflict management. Definitely had a good time. I appreciate you guys letting me get the education and personal development.
And just to add on to the human trafficking part of it, they brought it into the clerks conference because we deal with a lot of the licensing. And so being aware of like different licenses that come into our city that could have high human trafficking in it, and to be aware of those licenses. So it was definitely interesting to hear about how different departments, not just the police department deals with human trafficking, but also other departments within the city. So it was very interesting that to hear it in that perspective. So just a reminder, if you are wanting to attend any of the upcoming events, so State of the County, which is next Tuesday, please let me know so I can get you a seat. And then the Boots Not Suits event, and then the DRCOG award celebration that's coming up, as well as CML. I think I have everybody registered except for one at this point. But if you have any changes, please let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
Hi. Yes. So the only thing from the city attorney's office is I look forward to seeing everybody at CML. The one session that isn't tailored as a CLE that I would really recommend you all attend is the legislative update. If you're around or able to attend that one, it's just really great. They do a quick overview of laws. Not all of them will necessarily impact Sheridan so much, but it's a good wrap up of the legislative session. Other than that, I don't have anything else for today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Make sure you get your RSVPs to Betsy though for dinner at CML.
Yes, excuse me. The city attorney's office hosts a dinner for council members. It'll be at the Old Spaghetti Factory, and everybody can bring 1+1. Councilman Lopez is already RSVP'd, leader of the pack with that. But yeah, if you can just send it to me within the next week or so I can make sure to have the appropriate number for the reservation. Thank you.
Thanks for reminding me. City manager?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll try and be brief here. I attended the mayor's, managers, and commissioners meeting end of last week. We had a number of discussions, but the one that I want to talk to council about is surrounding what is potentially going on, the ballots on different cities coming up this fall. So as the council is aware, we've been having a discussion here about a potential sales tax question and what that might look like, and if the council would like to do something along those lines. There are a number of cities that are also considering measures coming this fall. The city of Aurora is looking like they are going to be considering a sales tax question that would raise their sales tax by 0.35%, taking their total municipal rate to 4.1%. And if you guys will think back to the discussions we had at our work session on this, a lot of the metro area municipal rates were somewhere in the 3.5 to 4.0 range. So that puts Aurora just a little bit above that, what that would be at 4.1. Centennial is actually considering increasing theirs by a full percent, which would take their rate to 3.5%. They're were already very low with a 2.5, and them being a brand new, relatively brand new city, that played into their low rate. One of the things in the considerations that they have that they're working on is that being a newer city, they have a lot of exemptions to their sales tax. So for example, they do not have sales tax for groceries, which is a huge, they do not have sales tax for software in their city. So a number of things that make them a very different type of taxing environment. And then to give you an example on the very further end of all of this, Greenwood Village and Cherry Hills are considering doing rebates and tax holidays for their citizens because they have too much money. Yes. I'm not making that up. So we will, and for folks that are here, the council is in a continuing discussion on whether to consider a sales tax question later this year. We would be, if the council would be considering moving forward with that, we would most likely earmark that for public safety purposes. So for the purposes of funding our fire and police services. I think that's all I got on that one, Mayor. That was the main takeaway I had from that meeting. I also hosted the local government, all the Arapahoe County local government managers here in Sheridan last week. We went over and had lunch at About Time. And everybody was very impressed by the center over there and enjoyed that. So it was good to host all those folks there. One more thing, and everybody will be able to see this one. So if you go down to River Point, you're going to start seeing some little spray painted white X's and things that are on the street or on the sidewalks, things like that. That is our public works crew that is going through that area and marking areas that need to be remediated in some fashion or another in order for the city to take over those streets, those sidewalks. So the way that project happened is it's an Urban Renewal Authority project. Back in 2017, the developer built all those streets, built the utilities in there, built the sidewalks in there, all of those things that can be considered public type of improvements. And then they were required to construct and maintain them for, I think it was a period of 10 years? It was a little bit more. Anyway, they have to maintain it for a certain, and then after a certain amount of time, the city comes in and will take over the ownership and the maintenance of those public improvements. However, before the city will accept those public improvements, we go through and we check out everything, and it needs to be, we're not going to accept something that's broken down, that's not working. It has to be up to a specification of that basically new and what, and that level. So our folks are going and walking through that area, marking areas where we might want to consider looking at that. When then we're going to fly a drone over it and take some aerial imagery and be able to see visually on top with all those spray painted, and we'll share that with the developer. We've already been in discussions with the developer and this whole process of the public takeover of this, and it's going to take a little bit of while. And anybody who's driven that road lately has done the roller coaster, and they know what it's like in there. That's because of a settlement that's happening, because that whole area is on top of a landfill. So all those areas have settled. All of that has to be addressed before we're going to accept it back and make having those be public improvements that we will then take over maintenance after that. So it's going to be a big job. It's going to be a big price tag for the developer to address those, and it's going to take some time. We're probably going to be getting discussions with them about phasing that, whereas before it was just going to be a clean pass over, get it there. It's the amount of work that needs to be done and the cost of it is going to be significant. And so we've already started having discussions with them about possibly phasing that in. That would involve council agreeing to some amendments to some of the site improvement agreements that are part of the River Point down there. And we'll be I just want to give you a heads up. We'll be coming that way with you guys probably later this year when we have a better idea of the full extent of the costs and the time frame that's going to be involved. So that's going on as well. And I wanted to mention it now just because we're starting to see visible. That's what all those markings are down there. I'm sure people might be wondering. So that's what that is. That's all I got for now, Mayor. I'd be happy to answer other questions. So.
Anybody have any questions for staff? Hearing none. Next we have the approval of the minutes of the regular city council meeting of May 11th, 2026. Are there any questions on the minutes? I have a motion from Councilwoman Stang and a second from Councilman Camacho. No questions? We can go ahead and cast our votes, maybe. Yes, we can. And that passes with a majority of 7. The consent agenda is next. Authorized disbursements that have been or will be made from May 1st, 2026 and May 31st, 2026 in the amount of $592,904.59, and authorized disbursements that have been or will be made from May 16th, 2026 to May 31st, 2026 in the amount of $1,737,530.15 per the referenced and attached transfer of funds. Are there any questions on consent? We have a motion from Councilman Moreno and a second from Councilwoman Stang. You can go ahead and cast our votes. That also passes by 7. Next, we have items for individual consideration. We have ordinance 8-2026 on first reading. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Sheridan, Colorado, adopting by reference the 2025 Colorado Wildfire Resiliency Code.
Yes, okay, so I'll present that. So Senate Bill 23-166 required the creation of the Wildfire Resiliency Code Board with the directive to develop and adopt a statewide wildfire resiliency code. So as a result, the code was developed and adopted by the board in July 2025, and the city is supposed to begin enforcing that code by July 1st, 2026. So we're a tiny bit behind with the adoption date of April 1st, but adopting this to be ready for enforcement by July 1st will cure that. So we'll have it first reading today, second reading on the 22nd, and then that'll be in place at the same time, or in the required timeframe. This ordinance adopts the Wildfire Resiliency Code by reference, and should the Denver Fire Department, who provides fire services to the city, or the building official determine amendments are necessary, it can contact our office and we can work as they get through it and get more familiar with it. We can amend it as necessary and bring it to you all, of course, for consideration, adoption, etc. So it's also enforced by the building official, the fire code official, or another official designated by the city manager. Do you have any further questions for me, or?
Anyone? I actually had a question. Funding that goes along with this resolution, so things like, say we discover that there is something that needs to be fixed for our city or whatever, wherever it might be, anywhere in the state of Colorado.
Mhm.
Is there any funding attached to it?
I can link to that.
Guess is no.
I cannot answer that by the next meeting for you.
Okay, thanks, but my guess is nope. They just said, let's do that, but we're not gonna pay you to.
I'm not aware of any, but we will check on that but.
So if there's
no.
super big problems or anything like that, figure it out on your own.
I will check into it and report back.
Well, thanks.
Of course.
Any other questions, anyone? We have a motion by Councilman Whitaker and a second by Councilwoman Sting. We can go ahead and cast our votes. That passes by 7. Next, we have a resolution of the City Council of the City of Sheridan, Colorado, approving an agreement for grant administration services between the City of Sheridan and Groundwork Denver Incorporated regarding the 2026 Sheridan Inspire project. And I'd like to have our city planner, Ari Snow, to the podium, please.
Hello. Good evening, Council and Mayor. I am just up here to introduce my colleagues who I have the pleasure of working with on the Inspire project at the City of Sheridan. In your memo you received this evening is the fiscal agent for a very large grant from the state of Colorado, the Great Outdoors Colorado Board. And we've been working with Groundwork Denver since 2016 on this project, and the Inspire Coalition, led by Alex Tiscareño, has been a great partner to the city and provided a lot of resources. So tonight you're going to hear about that. I doubt you have any questions for me, but if you do, now's the time. Okay, and Derek, if you'd like to come up. Thank you.
Thank you, Ari. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having us. My name is Derek McCoy. I am the Executive Director with Groundwork Denver. Our mission is to partner with community and really create experiences in the outdoors and support young people and young adults in workforce development opportunities as well. So if you could skip to the next one. Thank you. I'm going to be very brief before I pass it to Alex, who is really the leader of our program. But ultimately, our strategic vision and mission for this year, we did a strategic plan in 2025 that is being implemented this year. It is really centering our work across the organization to focus on environmental justice, increase brand awareness, and to strengthen our operations. We also have a mission to diversify our funding, which is really relevant to the Sheridan Inspire Coalition. As you'll see in that budget, it starts off a little bit higher than it ends. Our goal, working with Alex and our grant writers, is to supplement funding to cover the whole coalition and some throughout this next 5 years, so that we can bolster out programs. Sheridan Inspire is a pillar of our programming and ultimately gets a ton of folks outdoors and gets a ton of folks engaged in environmental justice careers, thanks to Alex's leadership. So we're excited about the potential for this grant funding to be approved by you all and to move forward in what will be our 9th year in partnership. Will be the first year on this grant. So there's my contact information if anybody needs to reach out. And I am going to pass the mic to Alex Tiscareño and Mari Reyes to discuss the program in more depth with you all.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. And I'm adjusting the mic because it's a little bit hard for me to hear. Thank you so much for having us here tonight. Good evening, everybody. Some of you are new to me. Some of you I've known for years. So it's really nice to be up here presenting to you. And I do have some notes, just because I can go in 10 different tangent stories before I get to the point. And so I want to make sure I keep myself organized. But before I do that, I want to present myself. I'm Alex Tiscareño, and I am the Sheridan Inspire Director and have been here serving the community now for 7 years. Although I am a community member for over 28 years, graduated from the high school. And so I'm very proud to come back and serve the community as an alumni. I want to present Mari Reyes, and I will let her do her own introduction.
Thank you. Good night. My name is Mary. So I'm start with this project time ago in Denver City Council, Denver City and County, with another different coalition for the past 6 years. And I started with Alex 10 months ago, last year in August. So for me, it's really excited to continue my career, but now with Sheridan City. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we are so grateful for the opportunity to present to you all this evening. A special thank you to Ari, who has helped us through this process, keeping us connected and helping us with getting on the schedule tonight. And of course, a special thank you to Groundwork Denver, who has been our fiscal sponsor for the last 8 years. And of course, another special thank you to our community members and leaders who are both here in person and are watching on the live stream. Without them, our work would really be meaningless, and so we are very grateful to them. Sheridan Inspire, just to give you a brief overview, we are a Generation Wild community. This is an initiative started by GOCO back in 2016. This started as small focus groups and meetings in people's homes, and then it became a coalition once we were funded by the Great Outdoors Colorado. The overall mission of Great Outdoors Colorado with the Generation Wild program is to break down barriers to the outdoors, to getting youth and families outside. So the Great Outdoors Colorado started as the Inspire Grant back in 2016. And now we're proud to say that we went from being a pilot program to now being a pillar program of Great Outdoors Colorado. What that means is that we will continue to work in partnership with our Generation Wild network as well as our Sheridan Inspire network. Overall, across Colorado, there are 15 Generation Wild communities. Some of the newer ones include the Mountain Ute tribe, the Uncompahgre region, and the Pueblo region. A lot of our communities focus in communities that are low-resourced and underrepresented, and that are diverse communities, such as is Sheridan Inspire. Our mission for Sheridan Inspire, and this is a mission statement that we came together with our 12, over time it's been 15 partners, is that we engage Sheridan youth and families in outdoor recreation, education, and stewardship to support diversity in outdoor spaces and ignite a lifelong love of the outdoors. And so with that, I'd like to present to you the campaign for this summer's campaign from Generation Wild, which is Take Your Brain Outside. So you'll see a lot of this communication across local networks, billboards. We have stickers for you tonight, as well as we have posters that are going out into the community. Oh. Yeah, if we press play.
How cute.
Should be linked. Oh, apologies for the technology. Okay, well, we can follow up with a link to the short little campaign message. And so Sheridan Inspire over the years has had 15 partners that we've worked under our coalition. Currently, we have 12 partners with 2 new partners joining us this year, which is Commune Denver, that serves the Southwest Denver and Sheridan communities, as well as Sheridan Rising Together for Equity, who just presented to you and has a lot of great work going on. Overall, we provide over 25 employment opportunities for youth and community members each year. And we've hosted over 15 annual events, including our Sheridan Summer Kickoff, which we had just this weekend. Some of you all were there. Thank you so much for coming by. Our Spooky Ride, which is exactly as it sounds, it's a spooky dress-up bike ride at Centennial Park. And then we also have our end of year celebration. So this is just to bring all the groups that we work with together to celebrate the great work that has taken place over the year. Something important to note about our annual events that I think is just great and speaks to the great work that has been done and the momentum in the community is that we started with our summer kickoff back in 2019, one of our first ones, where we had maybe 50 participants. This year is our 8th year having this annual kickoff, and we had over 350 participants over the course of the 3.5 hours that we held this program. So we're very proud of our growth and just our ability to connect with new groups and expand our network. So just to give you a little bit of insight into who our partners are. So Groundwork Denver is our capacity holder as well as our fiscal sponsor. The City of Sheridan is our fiscal agent. We also work with Calwood Education Center, Earth Force, Mile High Youth Corps, Hope Cycle, the Sheridan School District, South Suburban Parks and Rec, Sisters of Color United for Education, Lucky Bikes, Sheridan Rising Together for Equity now, and Commune Denver. And so some of the photos here that you're seeing are from some of our different programs. The top one is from South Platte Park, where we take folks canoeing. At the bottom left, you see some of our community leaders at our past year's summer kickoff event. And then on the right, you're seeing Sheridan Rising Together for Equity Youth Council, which we are also consulting with as our council for Sheridan Inspire. You also can see here some of the workshops that we've held in partnership with both the Sheridan Rec Center as well as Sheridan Rising Together for Equity. This was a medicinal plants and oils workshop that we had where we had a great showing of folks. And then you're also seeing our end of year event where we invite Santa, of course, the kiddos, you know, that's part of their favorite part of the night is they get to take photos with them. And then on the right, you're also seeing ice skating session that we had with South Suburban Parks and Rec at one of their very nice facilities. This year, thanks to Mari and the partnerships that she's brought to our community, we are also partnering up with Denver Parks and Rec, where we're doing rock climbing activities, as well as Lincoln Hills. We just did a trip with some of the youth from the community, and they did some horseback riding and archery, and you can see them pictured here. And so another great opportunity that Sheridan Inspire and the partnership with the City of Sheridan, as well as Groundwork Denver, has brought to this community is the Bear Creek Trailhead Project. And so we received a grant from Groundwork USA. This is the Land Use Innovation Grant that we received to do community engagement. This has been a great opportunity for us to engage partners and stakeholders as well as community members in a way that's really creative and that connects with what we're already doing in the community. And so what you're seeing pictured here are members from the Sheridan Rising Together for Equity groups where we had a walk to the site. We started our work way before the consultants came on board. And so we were thinking about, you know, what were some creative ways that we could get them engaged while also building trust and ownership of the space, because we are looking at this long term. We want folks to feel invested in their community, to feel proud of their community, and to take care of the spaces that we're all working so hard to create for the community. And so this has brought a lot of opportunities. We were invited to the CPW Partners in the Outdoors conference where I got to network with a lot of folks and share about this amazing project. We were also invited to River Rally in San Antonio where we got to present about Sheridan amongst members, from the National River Rally Conference. And then we're also being invited later this month to the Groundwork USA Network to present about this project and our partnership with the city. And that'll be in Rhode Island. So I think it's just really cool, that sometimes we think the work stays here and now we're spreading it across the nation. And they're looking to us as Sheridan as to how we can partner with organizations like Groundwork Denver and the city of Sheridan to bring about these projects that are youth and community centered. So overall for this project, we had over 570 participant engagement touch points. One of our biggest events that some of you were at, Council Member Moreno, I think won one of the prizes with their partner. And so it was a great event where we fused some of our community, with the goals of this project. And so we created a taquiza where we invited everybody to a big old taco party. We gave out some prizes where they could recreate in the outdoors, and it was just a great time for everybody. Part of this project too that brought on just a really significant activity is we wanted to capture people's opinions and perspectives throughout this project because they got to be a part of it from the get-go, literally since the coach's corner was torn down. We took them there on a walk. And so the activity that we did with them is we started journals so that we could get sort of the journey of this project and what it's been like for them to be involved. And so what we realized is that folks engage in different ways. Some are better in conversation, some are better writing, some are better drawing. And so they were able to provide some of their feedback in that way. So these are just some pages from their journals that they very graciously shared with us and of their ideas that are coming to fruition through this project. We also did some history video sessions, which are Groundwork Denver board member, Danny Stang, who's also part of the school district board, very nicely talked through it with us and made it with us. We also went to a tour of different parks around the city to give them an idea of what we could bring to Sheridan. We did some identifying of medicinal plants here in our community along the trail. And then we also did some movie screenings of Water is Love. Our goal throughout this project was to host 6 activities, and we hosted over 10. And we're still looking for more opportunities to host more, to bring attention to this very cool community project. And so these are some of the programs that we've had an opportunity to bring this project to and just that we've been able to host thanks to, the work and help of our collaborators as well as our community connector, Mari Reyes. So you're seeing one of our Mother's Day events here that was held at the Sheridan Recreation Center. On the bottom right is our Sheridan Community Summer Camp, which actually started today. We're hosting 28 kiddos from the community. And every year it's really fun. We host a field trip per week. And this year I'm proud to say that the Sheridan School District is partnering with us and offering transportation to all of those activities, which every year proves to be a challenge. We're also, the top picture is our spooky ride, which I shared with you, which activates the Mary Carter Trail that goes through our community, as well as the Loteria Nights on the left. We're gonna have one this Friday, so make sure you check that out. And then some more photos from some of our canoe rides and kayaking trips that we do. Overall, in the last 8 years that Sheridan Inspire has been active in our community, we've served over 10, and pardon the typo, but it's been over 17,000 participants and engagement points with the community through recreation, education, and employment opportunities. And just in 2026, we've had over 600 interactions. That equals to, and the reason why we're here tonight is to approve the $1.5 million award that Sheridan has been awarded through Great Outdoors Colorado, which brings the investment to a little bit over $5 million in the city of Sheridan in the last 8 years. I would also be remiss not to mention that the city of Sheridan has also funded and supported our programs with the over $200,000 opportunity that we got through the Stadium District funds, which helped us actually get through the last 2 years of our grant. And needless to say, your support will enable us to continue to serve the community of Sheridan and to provide new opportunities for youth and families to connect with nature. Thank you so much for your time tonight, and I am open to any questions that you might have. Actually, and I don't know if this video will show, if we can play it, but this is a video of our just this weekend's Sheridan Summer Kickoff. Not playing, okay.
I think they should, because they're both there.
Sorry. And I'm sorry, it's not these guys' fault. I sent this way last minute. But essentially what the video shows, and we will be sharing it on our social media. But Master Clark was, he took the initiative and he reached out to us and he said, what can I do? How can I get connected? And so last year they did a Tai Chi presentation. This year they did it again with his wonderful group. And they also did a bachata demonstration, which they have a program coming up. And I was very excited to see a lot of folks coming up, the folks that, you know, were kind of tapping in their seat. Master Clark got them to come up and dance along. And so I think we did a wonderful job. And oh, there it is.
Oh, bubbles too. Oh.
So he provided great instruction. We were all bachata masters by the end of this video. And I think it just shows what can be done in partnership, in community, when you prioritize youth and community voice and make connections. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? I don't have a question, but I want you to see what's on my computer.
Oh,
Da-da-da-da.
love the support.
That's a Generation Wild sticker.
Yeah.
I need
We'll be giving out new ones tonight.
awesome.
Mayor, if I might.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you. And just to, and I don't know if this should go to Alex or to Ari, but so we have 2 measures on your agenda tonight that address that. Maybe you guys could speak to those just really quickly, just so we can take care of the boring part of it and so the council knows what they're doing. Yeah, thank you. And so Ari, do you want to do it or, okay.
Yes. So it was a little confusing which contract needs to go first, but we believe we did it right. So you are, resolution 17 is an agreement for Groundwork Denver to be the administrator of the grant. And then resolution 18 is the contract with the Great Outdoors Colorado Board to receive the funds. But we have to have the first contract signed to, I'm sure it would be fine. It's just shuffling papers, but yeah, so those are the 2 contracts you are approving ideally tonight, you're considering. And yeah, happy to answer any questions about them.
Ari, if you could maybe just touch on how that administrative relationship, I know one of our council members had a question. What's the city's administrative relationship as the fiduciary on this? Just really very, very high level and quickly.
Sure. So Great Outdoors Colorado funds must go to a municipality as the fiscal agent. And then typically, unless you're a larger city, like I think Denver does their own administration, typically you'll kind of outsource that to a nonprofit that will manage the program and do all the finance work and reporting. And then the city is just checking that work before it's submitted and kind of signing off to the state saying, we approved it as the fiscal agent and it's good. But it's a pretty big benefit to the city because it's a significant amount of paperwork. Even the very small portion we do is still a little time consuming at times.
Thank you.
Questions, anyone? We do have a motion from Councilmember Camacho and a second from Councilmember Whitaker for just a resolution 17-2026. Go ahead and cast your votes. That passes. Yay. And then we have a resolution supporting the agreement between the City of Sheridan, Colorado, and the State Board of the Great Outdoors Colorado Trust Fund and the completion of Sheridan Inspire project. We have a, any questions regarding? No? We have a motion from Councilmember Moreno and a second from Councilwoman Stang. Go ahead and cast their votes. Maybe. That passes as well. Yay. Very good. Next, we have a resolution of the City Council of Sheridan, Colorado, approving a contract with Caraveo Construction for asphalt patching and restoration services. Are there any questions? We have a motion by Councilman Whitaker and a second by Councilman Moreno. Go ahead and cast your vote.
Hey, Mayor, I'll just mention that we do have our Public Works Director, Jeremiah Reichert, is available online if council has any questions.
Anyone have any questions?
Jay, yeah.
Oh, Jay, go ahead.
Jeremiah, is this the same company that did the previous road work for us, or is this different?
This is a new contractor. The contractor that did the crack seal last year did bid on it. However, they were not the lowest, most responsive bidder. So it is a new contractor to the city, but they are fairly well known, I think, for some of the smaller scale work that is done for other municipalities.
Thank you.
Question.
Go ahead.
One more question is, I saw in here the application had in there start date of end of February. Are we just behind on paperwork?
Yeah, it's just from when we originally went out to bid. It's basically when I issue the notice to proceed is when it will start for them to actually show up on site and begin the work for the city.
Thank you.
And that's not unusual that you'll bid those out at the beginning of the year because you're trying to get on these different companies. You're trying to get them, they're at the, January 1, they start looking, what is their construction year going to look like? And so they're starting to respond to bids out there. They're filling up their calendars. So that's generally when a lot of this work is scheduled, is very early January, February, March.
Cool. Anyone else? Okay, did I already say that we have a motion for resolution 19? So we can go ahead and cast our votes. That passes as well by the majority. Next, we have a resolution of the City Council of Sheridan, Colorado, approving a purchase agreement and authorizing the acquisition of 3400 South Umatilla Street, Sheridan, Colorado. This is resolution number 20-2026. Any questions? Hearing none. We have a motion by Councilman Whitaker and a second by Councilman Moreno. We can go ahead and cast our votes. That passes as well. Next, we have the mayor's choice. I did really enjoy Saturday. I didn't have a whole lot of time, but There were a lot of people and I'm really happy that there was as many. I had already texted Danny, how many showed up, what have you. And so I have some ideas for next year. Maybe we can talk. That would be fun. And I did not make the managers, commissioners, and mayors meet. Wait, it's mayors, managers, and commissioners.
Yes.
I did not make that. I was spending time with my granddaughter. So thank you for attending. And that's all I got. We will now proceed. Oh, wait. Councilman Swiss? Anyone?
I do have a couple of things. First, I'd just like to recognize Jenna for coming up with this hyperlink system in the agenda. I think it's really neat, very forward thinking, and really convenient. I have been going to DRCOG and representing the city as one of their board of directors members. And it was really neat to hear them recognize Sheridan as a sponsor of Bike to Work Week. And it just made me think of you, Ari, and just that, the last couple of years of putting it together. And it was really neat to represent the city and, get some accolades. The other thing that I thought was very interesting about DRCOG is they talked about the Interstate 70 Mountain Corridor Impact Study. And you'd be amazed how much money is lost when traffic is stopped on I-70. Absolutely amazing to hear all the different opinions and how it increases, emergency services in the little towns that happen to be affected by it. And just really neat to be part of these meetings where there's so much planning and money and future thinking, planning out to, 20, 30, 50 years. Very, very cool. The pictures that you see on the screen here, I'm just wondering if we could do something about this. It seems unsafe. I didn't want my dog rooting around these open wires. The other one there, Ernie will remember this from when those kids jumped the thing and wound up hitting this, right? But I mean, this mess of wires looks very unsafe. And I'm just wondering,
Where was that?
this is right alongside the building,
Over there.
Oxford. Both of those are within about 50 feet of each other. So
Yeah, that pedestal there is old phone pedestal that has phone wiring, and I'll let Jeremiah speak to it.
So the communications pedestal, we've long been aware of that. Our issue is trying to figure out who owns it. Nobody wants to take ownership with it. So therefore it's difficult to get anybody to respond to it or to, we can't just yank it out of the ground because we don't even know really if it's live. So from my understanding, this has been going on for quite a while. We've reached out to every, communication company that we can think of. And unfortunately, it's just when they look in their records or try to pull it up, nobody's taking ownership. So we're going to have to look at a little bit more creative way to go about that, which will likely include hiring a third-party vendor and then going back after the owner once it is discovered to get reimbursement for that. The other one that's closest to the sign, we are aware of it. We actually have our electricians that are going to look at it. The wires, the orange wires and all of that were shown in the picture is something that's relatively new. So we're not quite sure what it belongs to or how that ended up getting pulled out. It could have been one of our crews when they were mowing if it got snagged. We're just not quite sure about that yet, but we do have the electrician that will be out this week to look at it for us. We do believe that that is ours.
Thank you, Jeremiah. Anything else?
yeah, I just on the other piece that you said, we're not sure if it's live. That concerns me. I'd like, can we cover it? Can we do like kids are walking by every day It looks mean. It looks like if it was electrified, that it would be very, very dangerous.
Yeah, certainly we can do something to better secure it. Again, it's a communication line, so it's not going to be like high voltage or anything. It's going to be telephone or something along those lines, which is why we don't want to disturb it because we don't even know what it goes to. And it, you know, I know it's not what everybody wants to hear. It seems like we can't get anybody to acknowledge if it's AT&T or whoever owns that box until we figure out and then we'll be able to go after whoever owns it to take care of it. But we will make an effort to better secure that so it's not so unsightly.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Oh, were you done?
I'm done.
Okay. Anyone else? I know, that's all you get, Jay. I'm cutting you off. Is there anyone else who'd like to? No? You? Don't you have something? No. The card? Yep.
Have the Sheridan. Oh, we have the bachata workout and dance this week, Wednesday and Friday for the city. For anyone who think they can't dance, if you come to the class, you would leave knowing how to dance. All right. So, and Desiree is going to do a demonstration. Her and her husband are going to do a big demonstration of how it works. Okay. It's at 6 o'clock on Friday. On Wednesday and Friday at 6.
Where?
And it's going to be so much fun. Was it, please? Yes, at Chi Life or at the right down the street. And we have it on the flyers. You'll find it on the internet.
Birthday? Birthday? Birthday.
What's that?
Yes,
Okay, well, but we want to do it like that.
we want to,
We want to do it like that. That's great.
we want
But
to do
since
it like that.
if we want to do it like that, what I'm going to ask everyone, could you please participate with us to recognize our colleague, Ernie Camacho? It's his birthday coming up and we will not have able to have a party on that day, but we are prepared to, but we have I have one more thing that we have to get done, but Ernie, but anyway, it's his birthday. We can just sing him happy birthday. Is that possible?
Sure.
Is that okay? Is that legal?
Absolutely.
Is that legal?
Or me.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We didn't notice it. I'm just kidding, of course. We can sing happy birthday. We need a motion in a second.
Okay, 2, 3, here we go.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy
birthday, dear. Happy birthday. Anything else from anyone? That was fun. Happy birthday.
Gotta get
It's Wednesday, right? You're gonna tell us how old you're gonna be? Wow. He's still a kid. Yeah. We will now proceed to the public comment portion of the agenda. We have a couple folks that are going to speak. Each person will be permitted to speak for a period of time not to exceed 2 minutes, and a person's time may not be shared with any other person. Public comment shall not exceed 20 minutes. Members of the public may provide comments on any topic not listed on the agenda. Comments are to be provided in person at the podium. Individuals will be invited for public comment according to the order on the sign-up sheet. When your name is called, proceed to the podium, introduce yourself, and state your address for the record. Laura Callahan.
Hi, everybody. Laura Callahan, 3474 South Bryant Street. I'm here today because there's been at least 2 decades of desire to see more business diversification on South Federal and West Hampton from just mechanics and auto shops. And there hasn't been a ton of progress on that front, despite some notices from city council trying to make improvements in that vein. So I'd like Sheridan to contract with a business advisor that has experience converting industrial neighborhoods into community hubs. If you think of Rhino, 15 years back, it was just warehouses and there was really no community center. Now it's full of thriving businesses and thriving apartment complexes. So I'd love to see Sheridan invest some money into figuring out how to better improve the community so that we're not just having a bunch of mechanics there permanently and not having any way to convert that over. It can be a temporary advisor, doesn't have to be long-term, but because we don't have a city commerce department and the current staff obviously doesn't have the capacity to do something like this and figure out a plan for this, I think it would be great to have a dedicated person for this effort. Additionally, I know a lot of people on city council have been interested in seeing their neighbors' yards improve over time and seeing the quality of houses improve over time. I'm requesting that the city work with Resource Central, which is a nonprofit oriented toward water conservation, to get us discounts on garden boxes. I've used them. They're about $100 to $200, and you can get a bunch of xeric water-wise plants, and it makes it so that they encourage you to tear out your lawn and just put in native plants, so it's using a lot less water. It's a lot more visually appealing than just putting down rocks or mulch or something like that. And so I think it would be really cool to give citizens the opportunity to have a discounted option in order to improve their yards. And I think in addition to that, it would be nice to see if we combine that with some more stringent requirements from code enforcement so that we can go after some of the properties that are neglected on purpose and are not currently maintaining the exterior of their facade or their yards as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Maggie Nichols.
Hi there, I'm Maggie Nichols and our business address is 2200 West Radcliffe Avenue. My name is Maggie Nichols and I'm here on behalf of Iron Woman Logistics, a member of the Iron Woman family of companies. Iron Woman has been part of the Sheridan community since 2018 when we purchased our property on Radcliffe Avenue. Our property is located in an area that has long supported industrial uses with neighborhood businesses, including vehicle storage, auto recycling facilities, and wood recycling. Today, we utilize our property to support construction-related material storage and logistics activities. I'm here tonight to share an exciting opportunity for both Sheridan and the state of Colorado. Iron Woman has been recently awarded a state grant to develop what would be Colorado's first large-scale construction and demolition recycling facility. This $13.8 million investment would create an enclosed facility dedicated to recovering and repurposing materials generated from construction projects rather than sending them to landfills. Today, approximately 60% of the material disposed of at Colorado landfills comes from C&D activities. Our goal is to divert a significant portion of these materials by creating sustainable end markets for wood, concrete, asphalt, metals, plastics, and other recoverable materials. We believe this project aligns with the growing emphasis on sustainability, resource conservation, and responsible development. It would position Sheridan as a leader in innovating recycling practices and demonstrate a city's commitment to supporting projects that have a meaningful environmental impact. Last week, we had the opportunity to meet with the city staff as part of our ongoing property platting efforts and to discuss our vision for the site. As we continue to evaluate the project's feasibility, we would greatly appreciate understanding whether City Council believes a project of this nature aligns with Sheridan's long-term goals and vision for this area. We have reviewed the city's comprehensive plan and believe this project supports many of its objectives. We would welcome any feedback from council regarding whether this project aligns, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's the end of our public comment portion, and this meeting is adjourned.